Hi everyone, today Midnight and I are here to talk to you about a brand new element of art called form. Now, what form is a three-dimensional shape. So to understand what form is, we have to first understand what 3 dimensions looks like and what 2 dimensions look like. So in art, we have been focusing throughout the year on 2-dimensional works of art. So that means that we have been drawing on flat pieces of paper, and all of the drawings and paintings that we have done only have 2 dimensions. So they only have a height and they have a length, but they have no depth to them. The 3rd dimension adds not only height and length, but it also adds sides to it to create depth. So for example, we live in the 3rd dimension. Midnight lives in the 3rd dimension. So we have a height, we have a length and a width, but we also have sides to us, so we also have depth to us. So to show you an example of the difference between something in the 2nd dimension and something in the 3rd dimension, I'm going to show you a picture of what Midnight looks like as a drawing in the 2nd dimension. Here he is. Hey, why'd you make me so big? Because you're so big to me, Midnight. Okay, so Midnight in this drawing, he has a height and he has a length, but he has no depth or width because he's drawn on a flat piece of paper. So this is him in the 2nd dimension. He is just a shape. Now Midnight as a form in the 3rd dimension has height and he has length, but he also has sides and depth to him. Now all forms in the 2nd dimension are shapes. Now we already know what shapes are. We talked so much about shapes last year and this year. So an example of a shape that we all know very, very well is a square. A square is a 2-dimensional shape. It has a height and it has a length, but it has no depth. It's drawn on a flat piece of paper. Now to turn this shape into a form, you need to add a 3rd dimension. And here's an example of that in the 3rd dimension. So the square becomes a cube. So it has a height and it has a length, but it also has different sides to it. So it has depth. Another example of this would be a circle. We know what circles look like in the 2nd dimension. It's just a shape, has a height, has a length. But when we take a circle into the 3rd dimension and add that depth to it, it becomes a ball or a sphere. So for our project today, what we are going to be doing is we're going to be working with clay, which is a 3-dimensional form of art because you create something with height and with length and with depth. So with the clay, what we're going to do first is we're going to just draw a picture in the 2nd dimension of an animal that we love to draw. Okay, so here's Midnight, he's my animal. And then we're going to use clay to try to turn that drawing into a form and try to create them in the 3rd dimension.